Where transactions break down and why escrow may prevent disputes. Hello, yet again. This is Forrest Owens. I'm an aviation lawyer, a private pilot, and an FAA licensed airframe and power plant mechanic. Finally, let's discuss where aircraft transactions most often break down and why a skilled and experienced escrow company can be the difference between a clean closing and a later dispute. The first failure point is the title search itself. The FAA explains that clear title means there is no unreleased chattel mortgage, security agreement, tax lien, artisan lien, or similar document on record against the aircraft. That sounds simple until the title search reveals a decade-old lien, a missing release, or a gap in the chain of conveyance. In that moment, the escrow company becomes a problem-solving desk. It's not just a wire desk. The second failure point is timing. Under Section 44108, a conveyance or security instrument that may be recorded is not fully protected against third parties until it is filed for recordation. And the Supreme Court's decision in Philco Aviation versus Shackett remains the classic warning. Undocumented or unrecorded transfers cannot defeat innocent third parties. That case is memorable because it teaches a practical rule every client should understand. An aircraft deal is not safely closed just because the money moved and the keys changed hands. The third failure point is assuming that the FAA registry decides ownership in the broad commercial sense. It does not. Part 47 says registration is not evidence of ownership when ownership is actually in dispute. So the parties still need a coherent contract stack, proper entry authority, valid signatures, correct delivery mechanics, and an escrow process that aligns the documents with the economic deal. The fourth failure point is lender and international complexity. In a financed turbine aircraft deal, closing may require a security agreement, recorded releases, payoff letters, and if the aircraft is Cape Town eligible, entry point authorization and international filings. Miss one step and the lender is exposed, the buyer is exposed, or both. Good escrow professionals understand that the aircraft, the engines, the domestic filing, and the international filing may all have to tell the same story at the same moment. AOPA captured the real-world problem well when it noted that the title may have an old lien that should have been released years ago. The owner may be deceased, or the transaction may involve import, export, or international registry issues. And that's exactly right. Aircraft closings fail because they are fact-intensive, document-intensive, and very sequence-intensive. There is also a client educational point here. Escrow companies are important but they do not replace counsel, tax advisors, brokers, lenders, or maintenance experts. Escrow protects the mechanics of the closing. It does not decide whether the purchase agreement properly allocates discrepancy risk, whether the tax structure works, or whether operational control is compliant after closing. A sophisticated closing team knows the escrow company is central, but not solitary. So, what should a buyer or seller expect from a strong aircraft escrow company? Expect a documented checklist. Expect title work early. Expect payoff coordination before closing day, not on closing day. Expect exact matching of names, serial numbers, and registration details. Expect coordination with counsel and lenders, and expect the company to refuse to disperse until the written closing conditions are actually satisfied. Here's something to remember. The most expensive aircraft closing mistakes are usually not dramatic mistakes. They are sequencing mistakes, naming mistakes, and release mistakes. That is why experienced escrow professionals matter so much in turbine aircraft transactions. In short, aircraft escrow companies matter because they convert a complicated legal and financial event into a controlled process. And Oklahoma City matters because the process still revolves around the FAA registry and the professionals who built their practices around it. I'd like you to take this away and remember this. In aircraft transactions, escrow is the discipline that keeps title risk, filing risk, and money risk from colliding on closing day. Thank you for your interest in this topic. This information is provided for informational purposes only, and it should not be construed as legal advice. Questions are welcome. Please direct those questions to admin@aviationlegalcounsel.com. We look forward to helping with your aviation-related legal needs and addressing your questions with precision.